The Jithari Dominion's warlord had grown tired of negotiations. For decades, humans had been tolerated on the fringes of galactic commerce. The soft-worlders, as the Jithari called them. Resource traders, cautious explorers, slow to expand, and almost quaint in their diplomacy. The Dominion believed them harmless. So when a Terran colony bloomed on the mineral-rich world of Galaxies IV, a planet the Jithari coveted, the decision was simple. The humans had to be erased. The Jithari fleet arrived without warning. They burned through orbital defenses with contemptuous ease. Civilian transports filled with farmers, children, and scientists were cut down in transit. The aliens did not conquer. They did not enslave. They exterminated. Planetary broadcasts captured it all. Jithari warships orbiting above cities, dropping incendiary payloads until forests, oceans, and settlements alike boiled. Survivors were hunted, broadcast on Dominion channels for entertainment. The last human governor of the colony was dragged onto a stage, executed before a jeering crowd, her final words cut short as her blood marked the soil of Galaxies IV. The galaxy watched, and the Jithari laughed. Feasting on victory, in the aftermath, the Dominion celebrated as though they had slain a great beast. Their fleets paraded through conquered systems, their warlords boasting that Earth was too distant, too weak, too soft to matter. To them, the massacre was nothing but sport, a reminder that only strength dictated ownership of the stars. In their grand hall on their capital world, the Jithari drank fermented ichor and replayed the hollows of human cities burning. Their scholars declared humans incapable of long campaigns, fragile bodies, short lifespans, too dependent on technology and trade to ever endure real war. Let them howl from their little blue planet, sneered Arch-Warlord Catheris. They will starve before they fight. Their patience is weakness. Their hesitation is submission, the Dominion cheered. They had mistaken restraint for cowardice, and the galaxy, neutral powers, trading blocks, opportunistic scavengers, believed the same. Humanity was finished before the first response could be mustered. The silence before the storm. But Earth was not silent. Beneath the calm veneer of the Terran Council, beneath the restrained statements broadcast to the stars, something shifted. Old words resurfaced from humanity's blood-stained history. Never again. The Jithari thought hunger would break the humans. They forgot that Earth had been forged in starvation, in winters where entire nations clawed survival from frozen ground, in deserts where endurance outlasted conquest. When the colony's distress beacon finally fell silent, Earth began to mobilize, not with ceremony, not with parades, with grim precision. Civilian industries shifted overnight to wartime production. Asteroid belts became shipyards. Luna's gray craters glowed with fusion-lit forges. On Mars, red sands darkened under the shadows of newly raised dreadnought hulls. No boasts, no warnings, only silence, the kind that made neighboring empires uneasy. Trade routes shut down, diplomatic envoys were recalled. And then came the first whisper across galactic comms. Terran fleets are moving. Shadows gathering. At first, it was small things. Jithari patrols that never returned. Listening posts on the edge of Terran-claimed space, found gutted. Every recorder wiped clean. Then transports disappeared, entire convoys gone without trace. When Jithari commanders investigated, they found wreckage adrift, burned down to molecular slag. No survivors, no prisoners, no signals to intercept. The Dominion laughed at these minor skirmishes. Scavengers, they said. Rebels with stolen ships, but unease crept in when their scouts reported nothing. Whole sectors of space, dark, sensors jammed, stars silent. The Terrans weren't lashing out blindly. They were erasing the Dominion's eyes and ears, system by system. The galaxy held its breath. Humanity had stopped speaking, and in that silence, every other empire began to tremble. The Great Mobilization, when the storm finally broke, it was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Human dreadnoughts emerged from slipspace like mountains tearing open the sky, their hulls scarred black and jagged, weapons arrays bristling like the teeth of titans. Entire fleets moved as one, disciplined, cold, implacable. Each ship bore the emblem of Earth not as a decoration, but as a warning. Galactic comms erupted in chilling clarity as humanity spoke for the first time since the massacre. To the Jithari Dominion, your debt is counted. Your sentence is war. We are coming. The words carried no rage, no fury, only inevitability, the tide of retribution. The Dominion scrambled to respond. Their fleets, vast and proud, rallied in defensive lines. They fortified worlds, deployed planetary shields, armed mercenaries. it was not enough. The first Terran strike shattered 3 border systems in a single day. The Jathari expected bombings, quick raids. Instead, they were met with an onslaught of precision. Orbital bombardments that split continents, marine legions that descended like firestorms, armored infantry that fought without pause, without fear, without mercy. For every human life taken on Calaris 4, 100 Jathari fell. Entire cities were reduced to smoking ruins not by reckless fury, but by methodical destruction. Jathari warlords, once so arrogant, found themselves fleeing as their fleets disintegrated. Their once mighty armadas were herded like prey, trapped in gravity wells, cut off from supply, burned where they hid. Reports spread of human troops fighting days without resupply, enduring conditions that should have killed them. Choking atmospheres, hostile fauna, starvation rations. The Jathari thought deprivation would break them. Instead, hunger made them relentless. Each hardship only sharpened their will. The galaxy began to whisper. Human endurance turns famine into fire. They starve, but they never stop. The Black Sun Offensive. The climax came at the Battle of Thraxis Prime, the Dominion's jewel world, defended by its greatest fleet. 1,000 warships formed a wall of steel and fire. Their orbital batteries could shatter moons. Their warlords swore Earth would bleed at last. When the Terran Armada arrived, it did not hesitate. Wave after wave of human ships poured from slipspace, so many that their shadows blotted out the sun. Carriers unleashed swarms of drones that darkened the void. Artillery dreadnoughts fired lances of plasma that ripped capital ships in half with each strike. The battle was not a contest. It was execution. Human marines stormed the surface, breaching fortresses once thought unassailable. The Jathari's strongest warlord fell in the mud, surrounded by silent Terran soldiers who did not even bother to speak as they ended him. By the end of the day, Thraxis Prime was ash. Its once radiant towers stood like blackened bones, and its oceans boiled beneath orbital fire. The Dominion was broken. The silence of ashes in the aftermath. No Jathari world dared resist. Their fleets lay in ruins. Their warlords were hunted down, executed with the same cold finality they had once inflicted on Calaris 4. Humanity did not gloat. There were no parades, no celebrations broadcast to the stars, only silence. Systems once vibrant now lay hushed, scarred by Terran fire. Those few Jathari who survived whispered among themselves, "Never provoke Earth again." Across the galaxy, neutral powers reevaluated every treaty, every border, for they had seen what humanity's patience meant. It was not weakness, it was warning. Because when provoked, when their endurance was tested, humans did not merely survive. They endured until vengeance was absolute, the legacy of fear. The story of Calaris IV spread, but not as the Jathari once intended. It became a legend of warning. Children on alien worlds whispered it as a nightmare. Do not harm the humans. Do not test their hunger. Do not mistake their silence for surrender. For the Terrans had proven what the galaxy should have always feared, that human endurance is infinite and their vengeance is biblical. The stars themselves seemed quieter after the war, as if the galaxies held their breath in reverence or dread. Humanity had carved its warning into the cosmos with fire and silence, and that warning was eternal.